Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar, Technology's Impact on Operations. My name is Alex Weitzel. I am the Content Marketing Specialist for CourseKey, and today I have the pleasure of talking with Jennifer Upsher. She's a Phlebotomy Program Director and Instructor at Brookline College. Jennifer will be talking to us today about how different technologies that Brookline has implemented have affected their daily processes. For those who don't know, Brookline College is a post-secondary institution with campuses in Arizona and New Mexico that offers diploma, associate, and bachelor's degrees in allied health and other fields. So without any further ado, let's get started. Hey Jennifer, thank you for being with us.
Hi Alexander, great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So I'd like to start today by introducing you to our audience a little bit. Can you talk about your role at Brookline and your background and experience in the medical field?
Okay, well, I have been teaching at Brookline College in Phoenix for 7 years and working directly in the medical field as a medical assistant, dental assistant, and phlebotomist for over 20 years. So I have really gained a lot of knowledge and experience over a long period of time. And I absolutely love what I do here at Brookline College because I am changing people's lives for the future.
Right. That brings me to my first question. I'm curious to know what kind of technology trends you've seen during your career.
During my career, well, let's just jump back about 20 years. I was trained actually in HIPAA in 1994 before the act was even passed into law in 1996. And since that point, I have watched the transition from paper charts to electronic charts evolve into cloud computing, DocuSign. I've watched the nanotechnology increase. Not only the ability to do diagnostic tests and scans, but has also increased doctor availability, quality patient time, more efficient documentation, and so much more. And it's opened up some extra time for the workers, the MAs, the secretaries, the receptionists, the doctors, the office managers, the hospital staff to actually give better quality patient care because they have that time available. It makes everything so much quicker.
Okay, so you've seen a pretty radical change in the technology that's used then. To get more specific into Brookline itself, can you tell me about the technologies that Brookline currently utilizes?
We use a plethora of different programs, but we have been using Campus Nexus since I got here, which is our student database. It actually holds all of their permanent student records and allows us to track their classes and courses over their time here at Brookline. And over the last few years, we have gone from immense curriculum paper binders to what we like to call our digital 2019. So that being said, in the last 5 years, we've implemented our learning management system called Moodle. We've implemented DocuSign, which is an electronic signature tracking across all of our like career services, admissions, administration, and programs. So it has really made things much smoother. On top of that, we've implemented OneDrive electronic file storage and improved operations in the collection of statistical data outcomes, and it actually has driven our push to go fully digital by the end of this year.
Okay. You said something that I'd like to follow up on. You mentioned going from paper binders to what you call digital 2019. Can you tell me how having your curriculum data and information in digital form has affected your operations?
Well, actually, Alex, it allows for quick electronic access instead of searching through binders for the correct items that we need. I mean, it's literally point and click. We find things so much easier now, and it's all based in our cloud computing and our OneDrive.
Okay. You also said that Brookline is pushing to go fully digital by the end of 2019. Can you talk about the motivation behind that?
Well, it's the ease of use, efficiency, and time saved, more access to data, increased accuracy, fewer errors, as I mentioned before. But it's the combination of all these things that is actually motivating us to go fully digital.
Gotcha. Well, I know Brookline has been using technology for quite a while, like you mentioned. I'm curious to know about your most recent additions and how those have impacted operations.
Well, most recently, actually back in April of this year, I started the pilot run for Course Key to enable more accurate tracking of student class time and extern hours, as well as some other things like ExamSoft and MindTap through Cengage, one of our publishers for books. And the one thing I can say is that Course Key has been amazing. I was part of the soft launch. We developed it. We got rid of all the questions that everybody had. And now Course Key is the most amazing thing we have implemented because it literally talks to our campus nexus and tracks the students' times for us.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that being able to automate that task is very beneficial for the staff at Brookline. That brings me to my next question. I'm curious to know how these implementations and technologies have impacted your personal workday.
Well, actually, the additions of all of these programs, especially Course Key, it's made time tracking, statistical data that allows more time for grading, tutoring to aid in retention, success, and graduation of our students, as well as completely paperless. I don't have to have a sign-in sheet anymore. It's amazing.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let's stick with attendance for a little bit. Can you tell me about how your processes were beforehand and compare them to how they are now with your digital solutions?
Oh, well, geez, before we got Course Key, we kept paper sign-in sheets. We had to make sure the students were being honest about what time they arrived, make sure they signed in and out. Then we had to go in at the end of class. We had to sign into Campus Nexus Student, and we had to data enter the time that they were there for that class on a daily basis. And when you're teaching 2 or 3 classes a day, that can take up a lot of time.
I imagine that it does. And with Korsky now, it's all automated, right? There's no manual entry?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally you open it, you click take attendance, the students clock in using their phones, they clock out using their phones, and literally the information is fed over to our Nexus automatically after the classes have ended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So my next question to you is about time saving. We know that many technologies are meant to make processes more efficient. Can you tell me what you've done with the time that you've gained back by using these technologies?
Well, actually, it has allowed me personally and many of my peers here at Brookline College to have more time for our program outcomes, our curriculum development, even participating more actively in campus festivities with the students and ambassador students. So it's actually created more time for the support and the bonding that some brand new college students really need as they're entering into what most people think is scary, college time. So it's really, it's allowed us to do a whole lot more just in the amount of time that it saved us. So I love it.
Hey, that's great to hear. Well, it sounds like you're really able to create that learning community and establish that everyone at Brookline is part of the same family. So has your confidence in your processes changed at all since implementing these technologies?
Well, as a program director here at Brookline College, the list of responsibilities can be quite long. But with the implementation of Course Key and the other digital programs that we're using, it has freed up enough time to become a better program director, focus on my bachelor's degree. I'm one of the Course Key trainers now here at the Phoenix campus. So every time we hold a new student orientation, I get to play the video. I get to assist and direct the students to be prepared for class before day one. I even help with the instructors who are having issues so that they can get those quick fixes done and just move on with class. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. You mentioned a bachelor's degree. So you're pursuing your bachelor's degree while you're working at Brookline?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I work full-time as a program director and instructor, and I am also pursuing my full-time bachelor's degree. Matter of fact, I graduate October 18th. I'm in my last class now.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm glad that you've been able to get some more time during the week to work on that. On to the next question. Which departments at Brookline have seen the biggest change since implementing new technology?
Uh, Definitely our academics team, but also our admissions team, our registrars, and our career services people have been impacted by the implementation of Course Key. It allows us to catch absent students immediately, reach out to them as quickly as possible, keep our finger on the pulse of the student's education and where they're at and how they're doing so that they even if they run into life, which happens every day to everybody, we can at least catch it before it gets bad and help them along and give them resources. So this has really helped us in a whole lot of different ways.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I'm curious to know about the mobile technologies. What kind of benefits have the mobile technologies you've implemented afforded Brookline?
Well, it's actually benefited the most in less paper usage, point and click access, attendance tracking, immediate results, compliance, and easier workloads for everybody.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to unpack that a little bit because there's a lot there. Can you talk about the compliance aspect of it?
Well, Brookline is granted Title IV funding by the federal government, which allows students to get financing for their education. And in order to meet federal guidelines for both federal government and our accreditor, we have to have proof of attendance that shows we're holding classes during the times our syllabus and our schedule states that we're holding classes. And Course Key speaks directly to Campus Nexus that enables instant time and attendance tracking. So it literally cuts out the middleman and makes it that much easier.
Right. Okay, I'd like to move on to what's arguably the most important part of schools everywhere is the students themselves. For these modern students, can you tell me how they have reacted and responded to the mobile technologies that Brookline has implemented?
Actually, the students are very receptive to technology and the delivery of their educational requirements in our Moodle learning management system and the Course Key. I mean, with today's generation of students who doesn't use their cell phone or microcomputer, as they like to call it, to manage their daily lives in today's society. So it's actually been really wonderful across the board for most of our students.
Yeah, oh, that's really cool. Is there something specifically that they like about it? Is it the transparency into attendance and grades or something else?
Well, honestly, I think they enjoy that they no longer have to sign in. It's now just open, click, check in, open, click, check out, that easy. It takes a second of their time.
Right, gotcha. I can imagine if when I was in school, I would have liked to use something like that. So on to the next question. As someone who's used different kinds of technology in your career, I'm wondering what you would like to see happen in the future. Are there any ideas that you'd like to see come to fruition?
Well, the one thing I've always been excited about is implementing VR into the labs. And as being a program director who actually has a lab portion, virtual reality is something really big that is just moving across education like crazy. Our nursing department here at Brookline has a VR sim lab. And my hope is that the diploma programs can evolve in the same way and have VR implemented in their labs. I mean, after all, we are a small college with a big future, so my hopes are high.
Okay, well, what would having VR in the diploma programs allow them to do?
Well, honestly, it would allow them to virtually experience an office or lab environment where they can draw blood, take vitals, document, centrifuge, aliquot specimens, and all types of standard real-world applications in a VR field. So, I mean, video games and gaming and apps and all these technologically advanced things that people use on a daily basis would now be incorporated in the classroom, which makes it not only easier, but it's more fun because they're adapting to what they're already used to and increasing their knowledge at the same time.
Okay, so it's a fun way of being able to simulate real world situations without having to deal with the risk involved, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'd like to wrap up today by asking you, what are the 3 biggest benefits that utilizing new technology has afforded Brookline?
Well, number one, it has made processes much more efficient and quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it has freed up time for Brookline staff and faculty to focus on other things, including events and one-on-ones with students and tutoring.
Mm-hmm.
And then number three, the biggest one is more oversight and insight into student success and program outcomes. I mean, it's a win-win situation going fully digital.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. Jennifer, thank you very much for joining me today and talking to us about the impact of new technology on operations.
Oh, it was great to be here. Thanks so much for the invite. I enjoyed speaking with you today.
You're very welcome. And to our audience, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is alex@coursekey.com. Thanks again, and I wish you a great rest of your day.